Shields up, Iron Breakers, and welcome back to another episode of the Kast. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Exoprimal, and I brought over Jonno, who is the community manager, not just for Exoprimal, but also for Monster Hunter. You might have previously seen him on one of the Third Fleet podcast episodes. How are you doing, Jonno?
I'm good, thanks, man. It's good to be here again. Thank you for the invite. Fresh off the back of the open beta test for Exoprimal as well. So yeah, looking forward to having a good chat about it with you.
Yeah, I've gotten to play a little bit earlier, like was it on Thursday, I believe? We had like the content creator special access. I played that on PC. I had a couple of issues and I got a little bit maybe too tilted during some of my matches. So my apologies for that, but I'll let you know that my community put my feet up to the fire and they're like, hey man, that wasn't too fair. You were being like really like, oh, where are my tanks? Where are my healers? Like, why is everybody playing DPS? And it's like, this is literally the first time that a lot of people are playing the game, yourself included. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm competitive myself, but I normally play tank or support, so I'm normally like, where's my DPS? How are they in the back line? So yeah, no, it's totally fine. I get you.
Yeah, but that was the experience on Thursday. But then I actually played what was it? I think it might have been either Saturday or Sunday, because you tweeted out that there was like the console version. I thought that the beta was only running on PC. But then I was like, oh, I got to test it out on PS5 as well to see what that experience is like. And it was pretty seamless. Like, I was really surprised with how well it ran both on PC and on console. I did run into a minor glitch on PC, which I'm sure you guys will iron out by the end stretch, which was like my cursor would freeze up at sometimes for some strange reason. I don't know if anybody else experienced that.
No, yeah, that'll definitely be in the feedback report. But yeah, I played on PS5 as well on the weekend. And I had a ton of fun, and obviously as well having crossplay in it was great with the Capcom ID, so it's great to just kind of jump straight into matches and kind of, and not get whooped by PC players as well. It did seem like quite a nice even ground, so I did like that.
I think that was because a lot of people still didn't have like a full-on experience, because I think that when push comes to shove, eventually PC players are going to have a little bit of an edge with mouses versus controllers, but we'll see how that pans out. But before we even get any deeper into this, I want to give you an opportunity to basically explain to everyone what Exoprimal is all about for the people that maybe still haven't watched any gameplay and are just like curious about what it is. Maybe they missed the open beta or something like that. What is Exoprimal and what is it all about?
So Exoprimal, in a nutshell, thousands of dinosaurs, futuristic exosuits, and you're in the middle. It's 5v5 PvEVP gameplay where you go in, you kind of got your class or role-based exosuits, so they're split into assault, support, and tank. And basically you go into these customized, like random kind of missions, and you have to fight hordes of dinosaurs. So we're talking raptors, you've got triceratops, you've got T-Rex, you've got lots of lesser known dinosaurs whose names I won't try and pronounce off the top of my head because I'll get them wrong. There's literally moments where you have thousands of dinosaurs coming out. Which one?
I can say one, which was the one that was in Jurassic Park that spit on the fat guy's face.
Yeah, when he's stealing the embryos.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think it's the Dilophosaur, but feel free to correct me on that. But
I'll give you that one. Some of the names are so long. I'm like, when they get spawned in and the AI is like, this is spawned. I'm like, yes, it has. I'm going to go and shoot it now. But yeah, so like you've got all these exosuits, and yeah, it's this great kind of competitive PvE experience. And when you get like a raptor super swarm, like I don't think I've experienced anything quite like that in a game before. And playing someone who likes to play tank, I like to play tank and support. And in this game, tanks and supports they can put out damage and they can do a lot of, real damage. And they're not just there relying on their DPS to hold their hand and save them. So when you're holding up this shield as roadblock and you've got literally like hundreds of dinosaurs pushing against you and you alone, and you see your exosuit struggling against it being pushed back. Yeah, it's real meaty. It's really meaty.
I only experienced that on the second day because I kind of like dropped off of Roadblock really fast on day one because I felt like I think that Roadblock is very situational in which you can get a certain set of events where you become kind of a disadvantage to the team because you can't attack from ranged and you're just sitting there and you're holding your shield, but there's not much to do. But there are other situations where they become really good, like you said, when you have like one of those mega herds of dinosaurs coming at you and you're just like holding the shield. And yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, wait, what is this? Does that power up the shield slam attack more when you're like struggling to hold them back? Yeah, I figured it would.
Yeah, they push you hard, so you push them back twice as hard. But one thing I will say about Roadblock is I'm a bit of a deviant with Roadblock. I like to use it in PvP on maps where there's rivers or there's edges of cliffs, because Roadblock is really good at pushing people off of ledges, and it doesn't matter how much HP they have. If you just give them a shield bash, they're not coming back on. Also, his ultimate, like, I did one thing, and it's very evil of me in the open beta. There's one where you're doing, like, you can compare it to, like, Overwatch's kind of objective push, where you have to stand on the objective and move
it's payload.
Yeah, the payload. And both teams have one. So as soon as we loaded in, I ran over to the enemy payload, used my tornado ultimate, and threw them all into a river. And then just walked back.
Dude, that is like, did you do this in the beta?
I did.
That's cheating, because you know how things work, and there's a lot of people, a lot of innocent players were there, and they were just like, "Oh man, let's all have fun and good times." And in comes Jonno, it's like, "I'm gonna yeet you all off a cliff. Bye."
All I'm saying is I read the skill descriptions when I pressed down on the D-pad. That's all I'm saying. I was like, "Oh, and if I press right trigger, I can fire the tornado." Okay.
That sounds like a ton of fun. But so there's 3 roles that people have access to, and I'm curious, like, did the team say why they wanted to have this kind of like role? It's almost like a traditional party in an RPG kind of like, you have your DPSs, your tanks, your healers. Did they say why they wanted to have that kind of like play style?
Not directly from the devs, but the way I see it is kind of, it's like that holy trinity, as you said. You know, you've got your triangle here, but the roles still kind of bleed into each other. Like, for example, Nimbus is one of the support characters, and she has healing guns and killy guns, and she can switch on the fly and instantly do that as well. And then you've got Skywave. Skywave is my favorite support. Definitely one of the trickier healers, but Skywave can fly and has projectile healing, but is all about crowd control and disrupting the enemy team and dinosaurs. So yeah, you've got your traditional archetypes, but if you still like to get in the mix and, you know, swing at the enemy as a tank or a healer, you can. And then the DPSs are so varied as well. You've got your kind of like traditional kind of like soldier kind of class with Deadeye, and then you've got people like Zephyr, who I basically call Virgil. Like, you know, Zephyr's got like the Tomfa style kind of like arm blades, and like blinks around is incredibly stylish, and is blue. So, you know, I'm just like Virgil.
I have to apologize to the people who were playing Virgil in my team on day 1, because I was like, why are they running ahead? Why are they so far ahead of everybody else? Look, the tank is over here. You're over there. What are you doing? I'm trying to heal. and then I was like, when I went through and I checked all of the different classes to see their ultimates in training mode, I was like, this is a melee DPS. Okay.
Yeah.
Things make more sense now.
Well, like, I say that Zephyr is like Virgil, but then there's Murasame. And Murasame was probably my favorite exosuit. And Murasame is a tank, you know, big red tank, looks like a samurai, has a massive katana. And when you tank damage, it charges up your blade. But the ultimate is basically Judgment Cut End. You put your katana away, you sheath it, you charge up, and then you unleash it, and you get like this distortion and blades everywhere. Everything dies. So yeah, like, it's incredibly stylish, and yeah, you can kind of like, you're not locked into what kind of like you're expected to, you know, you have a gun, therefore you will play like this. You have a sword, you will play like this. You know, you can really kind of mold the exosuits into how you would like to play. And you can change exosuits at any time as well. That's what I haven't mentioned yet. You can change exosuits whenever you want, and there's not locks on. You can't, you know, you could be like, let's have 4 tanks. Let's have 4 DPSs. You had, I think, the whole time.
Yes.
Let's have 4 healers. Like, you can mix and match. You can change in, I think it takes about 10 seconds total to change your exosuit mid-fighting. You don't even have to be respawning. So yeah, there's a lot of flexibility.
4 healers will never happen. That's 100% not happening.
The day we see 4 Skywaves and 1 Zephyr is a truly cursed day, because that will probably be really hard to deal with.
But yeah, you have all these roles, you have all these exosuits and stuff that you get to choose between. It actually annoyed me a little bit that you can always change, because there were people who couldn't make up their mind about what they wanted to play. So I'd be like, okay, so I'm gonna play tank because we don't have a tank right now.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, oh, I feel like playing the tank with the big minigun. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna swap to a healer now. And then one of the DPSs would swap into a healer, and I'm like, stop, stop. But it's like those are the growing pains. Is there maybe like I noticed that there's a system in the game where they specifically tell you, oh, your team kind of needs this role right now. Is there maybe like an idea for implementing maybe stricter measures almost to kind of like, hey, maybe play one of these? Actually, no, maybe not stricter measures. Maybe instead of giving people the stick, give them a carrot and be like, hey, if you play this, we'll give you more points.
Yeah, like incentivize playing support. I mean, it'll be very interesting to see because the team get a lot of metrics, obviously, from things like this, like, you know, what were the most popular exosuits, what were the least popular ones, were there any like discrepancies in, you know, roles being present in team compilations. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the team can probably pull some levers if they feel the need to. But I'm hoping as well that people see that, you know, support isn't a dirty word. Like, for example, and that, you know, they are a ton of fun. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the team do. Because one thing I did notice is even against like the normal Raptors, if you don't have a healer, you die really quickly.
Yeah.
Like not having a healer, you will not win. Like, because you cannot heal and you die quickly.
As a matter of fact, there's going to be like gameplay in the background of this video. Mm-hmm. And in that gameplay, if you guys pay attention, you will notice that I'm actually using a tool which you can change whenever you swap your exosuits. There's like an additional tool that you get. It's a rig. You get to choose a different rig. And with all of my things, I'm always using the healing rig. Because even if I'm DPSing, I can just like, well, here's some heals for anybody who's in trouble. Even if I'm tanking, here's some heals, a lot of times for myself too, and for everybody else. I'm just like dropping heals everywhere, every chance that I get. Even though I realize, you know, there's different things that will be useful in different scenarios. It's just like during the beta, everybody's still learning, so having an additional heal there is going to be very useful. But yeah, you can also like go hybrid with these healing things and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. Like that was the main rig I used, especially on tank, because if you get separated from your healer, if you're a bit zealous like me, like it's good to be able to just shoot it on the floor and then put your guard up and kind of hold for a bit. On top of that, I also really like the kind of jump boost one, especially when I'm playing support, because if a Zephyr did find you, you can escape quite quickly. But yeah, there's a lot of different stuff. So I'll be really keen to see what kind of metas evolve, you know, when the game comes out in July, because with so much variety and how things can shift quickly, I can't off the top of my head kind of go, I predict this will be the meta, which is kind of exciting if I'm honest.
Okay, so now comes one of the big questions, which this is something that a lot of people were asking me about, and that is the game going to be always online? Because nowadays, you know, not everybody has the best internet, or, you know, maybe someday they want to play offline. This game is going to be always online, correct?
Yeah, that is true, yeah. So it's a bit different to what you might be familiar with, say, if you came from Monster Hunter or other Capcom titles. But yeah, the way Exoprimal is, and the kind of focus on that 5v5 competitive PvE experience, this is a online-only title. So we are going to be kind of making that clear as well in our trailers and other marketing material as well, so we don't, you know, no one's kind of caught off guard by that when they jump in. But yeah, this one is under that umbrella.
Okay, and it is going to be featuring crossplay. The beta is already tested the crossplay. As far as I could see, it was pretty seamless. Like, it just showed different icons in front of people's like names, depending on whether or not they. In the case of PlayStation, I think it only showed PlayStation icon if they're playing on PlayStation, and if they were playing somewhere else, there was just like a Capcom C, and that was it.
Yeah, the big C. Yeah.
So
it was good to see. Like, I'm glad to see crossplay working so well as well using the Capcom ID. So yeah, if you are, I think Street Fighter 6 is using it as well. So yeah, and it's quick and easy to just sign up. I'm going to do a little plug there for the Capcom ID. But yeah, Exoprimal will be using that. So if you are looking at getting into Exoprimal, having one set up, we'll do that. And obviously, Monster Hunter fans obviously got the Volcana skin for their Palamute for signing up to one a while back. So
most likely, Monster Hunter fans will want to have one for the future as well. For whenever the next Monster Hunter title comes up, most likely will support cross progression as well, I would imagine.
Hey, I'm still grinding my anomaly investigation ranks.
Yeah,
I can't think further ahead than me getting to 220 on my anomaly investigations right now.
No. This is just this was just an ambush. This was all a big ruse to get you in here to now grind you. When's Monster Hunter 6, Jonno? When's it coming?
You've just gone full Crimson Glow Valstrax on me. I'm like, oh.
Yes, it was an ambush. No, but so we got crossplay through the Capcom ID. I'm curious about something. Is cross progression going to be a thing as well, or do you not know that yet?
That's a good question. I don't actually know off the top of my head because I haven't asked the team, but that's a good question for me to actually go and explore.
Because I can tell you right now that there's definitely going to be people, from what I have seen in my own community, that would appreciate cross progression, even if that means, oh, I have to buy the game twice, which is annoying. But some people do like having that cross progression because, you know, maybe they play on PC in certain occasions, then they play on console at home. And not having that cross progression is a problem. And that's even something that we can see from like Monster Hunter Rise, when that came out in Switch and then it came out on PC, and people were like, oh, I can't export my save. And then it comes out on PlayStation and people are like, what? Again? It's like, you know.
I'm on my third playthrough as well.
Yeah. But cross progression is definitely something that I would recommend. So I'm curious about something. This is a little bit different from gameplay. It's just like a different question, but I'm just curious if you know anything about it, and that is the lore of Exoprimal. Like, I understand that there's like some crazy AI that's training exosuits for some crazy doomsday event that is about to happen. Can you give us a little bit more clarity on that?
Yeah, so I'm going to take a quick second to make sure I don't spoil anything.
Yeah.
The story so far, obviously, is that there's been this kind of like dino kind of apocalypse. Suddenly, dinosaurs appeared at these portals one day and have been causing a lot of trouble for humanity. To fight back against this dino scourge, the exosuits were created so that humanity could fight back and protect civilization and kind of the pockets of humanity that are remaining. And to help do that, we've got the AI that was created, Leviathan, and Leviathan's goal and objective was create the perfect exosuit to protect humanity. Create this exosuit. And as you know with AI, if you tell them something, they take it very, very literally. And they might not take it in a way that we as humans would expect. So now in order to create that perfect exosuit, we are forced through time to relive some of these really dangerous events and to fight against the dinosaurs and other exofighters to get data to create this perfect exosuit to fight humanity. So to try and save humanity, we've actually put us in more danger and kind of given this AI total control. And on top of that, as you can see, like in the latest trailer, there's like these time travel and kind of different kind of like parallel kind of like situations with the characters that you can see in there. So there's more to it than meets the eye, but basically the AI is taking things very literally and has kind of become this overlord that is kind of causing more trouble by summoning more dinosaurs than
because like my interpretation of what was happening during the beta was that this was like some kind of a simulation type event, but we're actually traveling back in time and he's just like generating more dinosaurs.
Yeah. Basically, Leviathan is pulling the dinosaurs in. So it's gone from you just go into certain locations, like when you sign up to IBS, and it's like, we're going to assign you to this place to deal with it, to Leviathan has kind of started making things worse by going, I'm going to test you by summoning these dinosaurs. And obviously, you know, we started to see a few of the neosaurs, which are kind of like enhanced dinosaurs. But I won't go into too much detail about them because as you progress through the story, you'll learn more about the neosaurs and where they're coming from and why they're so dangerous. But if you played, I don't know, did you play in the closed beta test last year?
No.
So in the closed beta test, we actually had a mode that wasn't available in the open beta test because we were focusing on the new modes and the new exosuits that were available. And it was a 10v1 raid kind of boss experience. So at the minute,
wait. I'm going to ask you specifically about that a little bit further ahead. You're getting ahead of yourself a little bit, but I'll.
That's a little treat for later.
Yeah. We're definitely going to be talking about that. But before we go there, so I played the PC version, the console version. One of the things that I was surprised was how visually impressive it was and how polished it felt. Because this didn't feel like, traditional betas where everything is breaking and whatnot. Besides the little cursor issue that I had on PC, I didn't really experience a whole lot of problems with the game. It didn't seem like there was even any queue problems or anything like that. If people like getting stuck in queues, I don't know if that is the case or not.
No, we didn't see any reports of that. Like matchmaking was running well, even with full crossplay. We did see one thing where if people weren't enabling crossplay, it did lead to longer queue times.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you had match crossplay on, you would just like 15 seconds kind of thing straight in.
Now, my first one actually took quite a bit for some strange reason. I was even thinking, oh, is this like one of those Steam region situations where things aren't working?
No, not in this one. No, we do use connection-based matchmaking, but not in a way to lock you away from people. So it will prioritize the best kind of connection, and then that ring kind of increases as time goes on.
So with the visuals the way that they are, and with the amount of dinosaurs that you're able to put on screen at any given time, which is one of the reasons why I feel like it's so impressive, just like the amount of things that is happening. Like people don't, I think that when we say there's tons of dinosaurs, I don't think that people actually understand just the amount of dinosaurs that rain on you.
Hundreds and hundreds at once.
Yeah. This is basically Capcom just kind of like flexing the RE engine, just like, hey, look at all the things we can do with this engine. So I'm curious if you have any information already about the minimum specs that you guys are shooting for when it comes to PC, because like the game is only going to come out on, I'm assuming, current generation consoles and PC, right?
I believe it's also PS4 and Xbox One. Yeah, I can double check that. I believe so, because obviously I'm in the current gen headset because that's what I use.
Yeah.
So I believe, I'm just gonna triple check.
I think that those consoles are going to struggle a little bit to render all of those dinosaurs in there. Like that's gonna be wild.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm confident that I'm just gonna get. Yeah, it is on PS4 as well as Xbox One on top of the current gen consoles.
Okay,
so the wizards over in Japan are like even like as you said, like you got hundreds, thousands of dinosaurs on screen at once, and it is silky smooth.
Yeah, that's what was really impressive.
So I'm really keen to see, and also, if anyone played in the beta on those platforms, let me know how you got on.
But do you have any information on PC minimum specs at this point, or no?
Not off the top of my head. I imagine the team will be eagerly going through feedback from the beta and all their analytics and continuing tests. Because obviously, as you said, we're not out until July. And, the betas are a great, not only is it great for players to try out the game and give feedback, but it's great for the team to analyze things and further identify any optimization areas they might want. So I imagine once they settle in on what they're happy and comfortable with, they'll reveal that.
Okay. So now I want to focus more back on the PvE and PvP stuff, because one of the things that I personally wasn't expecting was just how competitive it actually was. Like, to give people an idea, the scenario that we get to play during the beta, it's called Dino Survival, right? That's what it's called. And in Dino Survival, you basically do a series of PvE objectives with your team, and then there's a clash with the other teams. And I was like, oh, I expected it to be kind of like a competition, and then whoever does it faster or something like that wins. And there's an element to that, but straight up at the end of every match, they pitch you up against the other team, and you can actually fight each other. Straight up PvP 5v5, I believe, right?
Yep. So and even when you've got the PvP happening, there's very much PvE in there as well. Like there's dinosaurs going around, there's raptors, there's special dinosaurs, there's the neosaurs, and also obviously it's not just Exosuit versus Exosuit. Teams can gain control of a large dinosaur, right? Like
Dominators,
so you had the Triceratops, T-Rex, and the one that begins with C. It's a little T-Rex, but it's not a T-Rex at all. Is it the Carnosaur, I think?
Might be. I don't remember.
So you can control a dinosaur and go and attack the enemy team as well. So like the PvP, it can be very silly and wild, or it can be more serious, as you said, when you're focusing on the Exosuit v Exosuit combat.
So if you had to, let's say, choose one of those to kind of like classify Exoprimal, would you say that it leans more towards the competitive element or the PvE element?
I would say it leans more towards the PvE element. And I know if you only played the OBT that you might think, oh, how can he say that?
Yeah, exactly.
But there is a lot that we haven't shown yet, and more of the PvE side of things, because obviously a beta is a snapshot of a certain thing that we want to show you and we want to kind of, learn more about. Because obviously this beta test had, I think, 4 more exosuits than the closed beta test. So, there's a lot for us to learn and check balance on and things like that. But yeah, I would say PvE, because even if you're bad at PvP, apart from one mode when you've got to get the energy collection, like the packet collection, where
I hated that mode.
That's the most like team deathmatch, and I'll say that's probably the most PvP orientated side. But then when you've got like the Omega charge with the hammer, PvE
that one
is
was
much
fun.
Yeah, because you've got dinosaurs attacking everyone. Like, it's absolutely wild. So I think it does it's like a spectrum of like more to PvP, more to PvE, depending on what missions and kind of objectives you get. But overall, I think the game leans towards PvE, because if you're very good at PvE, you get an advantage in the PvP section. Normally, like a head start. You get a head start.
Leviathan kept letting me know, to the point where I was like, okay, you're getting really annoying, because like we'd complete an objective and he's like, you are progressing slower than the enemy team. And I was like, okay, then we'd complete another one and he'd say the same thing again and again. And I was like, shut up, Leviathan, I'm done with you. You keep saying that I'm bad at the game. Why?
It's, it's that negative reinforcement.
Yeah, exactly. He's just pouring salt in the wound.
Yeah, it does remind me because it's got that kind of like Dark Souls style thing where you can see silhouettes, like ghosts or holograms in this case, of the other team. So at certain points when you're completing objectives, you can see the enemy team in these kind of red apparitions and kind of see exactly what they're doing. So it's great when you see someone flying around, falling apart, and you're like, oh yeah, T-Rex has got them. So yeah, you do get like these visual and audio indicators, so you know how you're going against the opposing team.
Okay. So you said you lean more towards the PvE. So first I want to ask you, how is the campaign going to be?
So the story is kind of interwoven into the game mode. So as you go through the game and you level up your suits and you kind of get these kind of like signpost points in the game that then progress the story. So by playing through the different game modes and just playing the game, you kind of progress the story simultaneously. And I can't say too much more about it right now, because we've been revealing more about the lore, but not exactly the mechanics. So that's kind of like, by playing the game how you want to, you can progress the story.
The thing that makes me question is like, are there, and again, I don't know if you can answer this because that previous
that's cool.
commentary, but it's like I'm just wondering, like, so you have these missions, like, say, a dino survival mission. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not going to have a story mission in the middle of that, because that's just kind of like a skirmish between two teams, right?
Yeah.
So would you get, like, a cutscene at the end of that, or do you get, like, a special mission that's a campaign? Again, I don't know if you can answer this or not.
Yeah, no, that one I definitely have to kind of go like that. We will be revealing more about how that works as we get towards July. But yeah, that will be explained more. But for right now, it's kind of like, wait and see.
Okay, so we can't share any more details on the campaign, but what about other PvE specific modes? You were talking about a 10v1. Tell me more about those.
Yeah, so obviously in the open beta test, every final round was competitive PvEVP, where you'd be clashing against the enemy team. But there is actually other options. And one such one is, I love it. I absolutely love this mode. As you progress through, there'll be a point the match will end a little bit earlier, and Leviathan will be like, hey, time to really mess you up, kind of thing. And you actually get summoned together and you become a team of 10. And you get a shared pool of lives, and you basically do, and I like to describe it a bit like the Dragon in Dragon's Dogma, for anyone that's played that, with how this plays out. So the one I played, you go in, and you do absolutely gigantic super swarms, like 1 to 2 gigantic super swarms of raptors worthy of 10 players attack you all at once, and you're all working together. And then after that, you fight a gigantic boss. And in the closed beta test, it was a Neosaur T-Rex. When it's giant, it doesn't look like a T-Rex you recognize. It's purple. It's covered in like these boils and radiating energy. And you do this big fight that's a challenge for 10 players. And if you beat it before your lives are drained, you all win. It's got a cooperative victory. So there aren't just like competitive PvP victory points. There are cooperative ones as well. And yeah, the big old kind of, and I call it a raid boss as like the best comparison for people that might not have seen it. It's incredible because everyone's working together. You've got oodles of tanks, healers, DPSs flying around, people resin each other. Yeah, so there are, for people that purely like the PvE experience, there are climaxes to matches that do end in that way where everyone is a winner and you don't get torn apart by
so that's like one example of that culminates in PvE. I would assume that the victory condition for that one is basically just defeating the final boss and both teams win.
Yeah. Beat the boss, you will win. Like all 10 players win if you beat the boss. If not, you will lose. So
no, but that to me, for instance, sounds way more appealing than some of the other modes. Like I really liked something like, say, for instance, the payload mode, because the payload mode is something that you recognize from multiple like other games, and it's very easy to just, let's do payload, whatever. But the energy collection one, I was really like, nah, I kind of feel like it doesn't necessarily play to the strengths of Exoprimal, because like the strength really is the mix up of like, you have these dinosaurs and you have these teams, and I feel like you kind of want to have that chaos in there when it's just kind of like, it's a team v team and now it's a team deathmatch. I feel like it's not playing to its strengths, but that's just my opinion. Obviously, it's like
it's good to share, because I think that kind of falls into the spectrum again, where you have the kind of raid boss is the PvE, you've got the data collection or power collection is the PvP kind of climax, and then you've got like, say, a mega hammer as like kind of right in the middle, because PvE is centric to being successful in that, and the PvP is very much more a disruption element, because you're still racing through the PvE, but you can be really nefarious and go and mess with the other team and like kill their hammer wielder and like run away and stuff like that. But yeah, so there definitely is like this mix, and it's interesting because I kind of see like gamers can kind of fall into three kind of categories, where you have PvP focused gamers, PvE focused gamers, and then like the smallest slice in the middle is kind of me. I like PvE and PvP. So like so it's kind of like trying to appealing and giving a good experience to all these gamers so that they enjoy it. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting cross section to try and satisfy at the same time.
I think the problem there is going to be when you have, say, I'm assuming that this is all going to be like one giant playlist, right? And you're going to like, okay, queue for because I think that in the beta it specifically said that Dino Survival is going to be kind of like the core
It's
mode.
The quintessential core mode for the game.
Yeah. Yep. So, and there's going to be potential like, hey, this match might end in a PvP scenario, and the PvE player is going to be like, oh, damn, I got the PvP match. Or this match ends in a PvE scenario, and for those, the PvE player is going to be like, this is awesome. So I think there's going to be a little bit of pushback there, but it'll be interesting to see how it ends up panning out. So I wanted to ask you also about the level up rewards and upgrades, because I saw a little bit of that, but not too much, because I also don't want to burn myself out on the game, so that I experience it a little bit fresh when July hits. But I did see that when you level up, you get like war chests, and I don't know what all the other things were. I think there were like some profile pictures or something like that.
Yeah, like nice ways to customize how you look and, your presence in the game.
Yeah, but tell me more about like level up rewards and stuff that you get as you level up different exosuits and whatnot.
So you have like your account level, which is like, no matter what you play, you have this kind of account level that will go up and unlock you rewards. And on top of that, you have exosuit levels. So as you play through exosuits in the match and switch around them, you'll gain progression for them. And as you level them up, you can unlock passive buffs to customize the exosuit to make it stronger in certain ways. Like maybe you focus on HP or mobility, for example, or being a bit tankier. So you're kind of rewarded for kind of, playing your favorite exosuits, but not in a way where if you're a new player going up against an enhanced player, you can't win. And as you saw as well when you were streaming, because I swung by, you do unlock these kind of I don't want to say loot boxes, because they're not loot boxes.
War
they're not
chests,
loot boxes.
I think they were called.
Yeah. And these are just a way for you can open them and you get some random bits and bobs basically that you don't buy these. These are like, hey, well done. It's that nice bit of dopamine where you're like, I've leveled up, I've got something for it. What have I got? Cool, maybe I got to Cal or something else like that. So yeah, these aren't like your kind of ones where, oh, you want the skin, open your wallet, like kind of thing like that.
So you won't be able to buy the level up boxes that you get from just playing the game.
Not with real money, no.
Yeah. Okay, you'll be able to buy it with like what's it called? The Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you've got your soft currency for those kind of things. So for in-game like customization, basically, not power.
And before anybody misunderstands what we're saying, we're not talking about the blockchain. It is Bitcoin with a K. It's the same thing as gold. It's Zenny. It's the same thing as Zenny and Monster Hunter. You get it just from playing the game. Yeah. And you can't buy that one with real money either, I would assume.
No. This it's a nice way to, as you play more, you can then further customize your favorite exosuits and, trick yourself out. So when you see someone, you can be like, oh yeah, they've put a good amount of time into the game.
What are the possible rewards that you can get from these? So you said that there's also some stuff where you can actually upgrade your exosuits to be more powerful?
Yep. So these are attached mostly to leveling up the particular suits. So, for example, I spent a lot of time on Murasame and Skywave, and I was unlocking like modules.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Don't tell my sword and shield. So, like, it's the only time I'm going to longsword main, okay?
That's what they all say.
You've got these modules that basically augment your suit to kind of give you a little bit of a boost in a certain direction that kind of suits your play style. So the more you play your favorite suits, the more you can then customize them.
Are these modules like randomly generated, or are they kind of like static? Like here's a 10 HP module. I don't know
off the top of my head. Okay. But like, so when I played, I was kind of getting these kind of set ones, and I was like, okay.
How many of those can you equip? Do you know, or
I don't know. I think maybe 3.
So you get
based upon the card, but I might be wrong.
Okay.
I might be wrong. It could be a lot more because this is the system as well that I've not personally had a lot of time on like my gameplay when I'm playing the game. Behind closed doors or in the open betas, it's me. I'm physically doing the matches and kind of playing through the processes there, trying the exosuits. I've not had any hands-on time with like the customization side and kind of really digging into that. So anything I kind of comment around that is really kind of like me kind of educated speculation based upon what I've been, able to see myself.
And in the cosmetic side of things, you said like decals and stuff like that. These are what they just change your skin kind of, or
like your color of your exosuit or maybe a little badge and stuff like that, just so you can personalize it. So not every Murasame looks the same, not every Zephyr looks the same.
They all look the same in my eyes.
They all must go down.
Exactly. They're all long sword mains as far as I'm concerned.
Now I'm a Krieger main. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. There you go.
Now I'm a heavy bow gunner. Yeah.
No, but I mean, if you can't buy them or anything like that, it's like I don't really have much to say about it. It's just like, hey, you level up, you get the boxes, it's whatever. But we do have to obviously talk about the business model. What's the business model for this title?
So obviously it's a premium title. So or if you have Game Pass, you can just get it via Game Pass on Xbox.
Is it going to be day one on Game Pass as well?
Yep. Game Pass. Yeah, we announced Game Pass, I think, at the Capcom Spotlight.
Is it going to be on the Windows version of Game Pass as well?
I will have to double check.
Okay.
Definitely Xbox. I imagine it will be on Windows, similar to what we had with Monster Hunter Rise. Yeah. But yeah, I can double check that. So yeah, there is on Game Pass, so that's a great entry point for many people. If not, you can obviously, you can buy it and jump in. And obviously there is also the kind of Battle Pass kind of to use that. It's not, we don't call it a Battle Pass, but that's obviously the term that people are familiar with.
Yeah.
So we do use those as well, and that one provides purely cosmetic rewards. So there is a free path and there is a paid path. So that's where you'll find like the coolest cosmetics, like you can kind of unlock, as in like the really, really high end.
Can those be unlocked through the war chest as well, or don't you know at this point?
I don't think we'll call it the battle pass just for, once again, that they have, their own unique rewards, but then obviously the war chest, etc., have their own pool as well. So, you're still going to be able to customize your exosuit. You're still going to be able to kind of make yourself stand out without having to, pay for the pass if you don't want to.
So there's a free tier of Battle Pass and a premium tier of Battle Pass. I'm not a big fan of Battle Passes, as I already told you. And then there's also a purchase price for the game, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
do you have any prices on that yet, or is that not set in stone?
So in the UK, I believe that so for the standard edition of the game, that's £49.99, and in euros that would be £59.99.
Wait.
Um,
Oh yeah, it's not. I was confusing it with dollars. I was like, wait, do you go from $49 to? No, it's pounds. Pounds are worth a little bit more, so you're going for like the
for now anyway.
Yeah. But you're going for the traditional $60 usual price for games. Okay. Does the purchase include one battle pass or?
There is a deluxe edition for a little bit more.
Okay.
I don't know the price on top. It could be an extra 5, maybe 10, and that includes some extra bits. So it includes the first pass and a couple of extra bits as well, like a little head start pack to kind of help you settle in.
None of that has any gameplay impact. I'm assuming it's cosmetic stuff.
I think the head start pack might give you early unlock on some of the harder, like the more complicated exosuits, which could be
so you have to
Skywave.
unlock the exosuits. I just assumed that they all came like unlocked. No.
I believe there's a couple that you unlock. Basically, we want to, when players come in, we don't want them to be overwhelmed. Try out Skywave or Barrage or something straight away and be like, this is really complicated. We want people to come in, and you've got like your Deadeye, you've got Witch Doctor and Roadblock to kind of ease people in, and then you can very quickly unlock the other exosuits.
I
it's
think
not like
that the Skywave is actually the easiest healer to play. Personally.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one that I was playing.
I think it has the highest skill ceiling. So either you're very, very good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what's going on. I'm just that good. I'm the best Skywave, EU #1, easy.
I'm now #2. Because like all of Skywave's healing are skill shots. She doesn't have any hit scan.
Okay. So the guns on the bike
that's Nimbus.
The
the guns is Nimbus.
Yeah, she's hit scan then.
It's very easy to land her shots, so it kind of feels like it when I'm healing, but then I'm not very far away from people. But like, I guess, I mean, Skywave has very obvious travel time when you're trying to heal, and if you're far away, you're not going to be able to hit your Zephyr who's zigging around everywhere.
Well, that sounds like a serious problem for the Zephyr.
It does, yeah. Like if they don't want heals, because like the Witch Doctor obviously has a nice AOE ring heal that stays persistent, and it can also tag other exosuits for a burst of healing and a mobility boost. Then you got Nimbus can literally shoot healing goodness at her allies, and then do like an AOE one. Using like the kind of rapid fire shot. But yeah, I do think that Skywave, if you're too far away, you have to be able to land your shots, and you've also got to reload your healing staff as well. But obviously if you're too close, you're quite vulnerable.
And if you're in the air, you're quite vulnerable as well, because there's the sniper DPS. Like I got sniped off the air quite a few times.
Yeah, the sniper, like absolutely vicious. I played the sniper once, and it was a ton of fun. But when you go up against a good sniper, you definitely want to hope you have a roadblock, because roadblock is hard counters it. But
on the payload map, I was like hiding behind the box all the time, just peeking out, like, what?
Hello,
heal.
Heal. Yeah, I've been there.
But you were saying that you can unlock the other ones reasonably quickly. Like, how do you go about unlocking the other exosuits then, if you're only going to have a few of them at the start?
Just playing the game, leveling up your your account, I believe, is the current.
Okay, so it's not like grabbing Bitcoins or whatever and using those to buy the unlock or anything like that?
As far as I'm aware, it's just time in the game.
Okay.
Whether you then use the soft currency or not, I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm curious if you get to choose the ones that you unlock, or if it's going to be like, no, at this level you unlock this one, and then at this level you unlock this other one. I think it would be more interesting to give the players some agency there. But then again, I would actually prefer just give me all of them. I don't know if there's going to be more than the ones that we've seen in the beta, but just the ones that I saw in the beta, it didn't feel particularly overwhelming. In terms of like, I can't even make up my mind about which ones I like. I would look at them and I'd be like, Deadeye, that's good for DPS. Shoots real good, shoots grenades, I like it. This is the one that I want. Yeah. Skywave, she flies, heals lots, has a big AoE wave thing, like it, a lot, good. This is the one that I want. I basically picked it like that. It was very easy.
Would you say that's because you're an experienced kind of gamer in that genre, like, those
No.
kind of games, or
I mean,
you're kind of more fresh?
I played a ton of Overwatch, I guess, so maybe.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you would go, I know that one with the big shield. I've seen this before, kind of thing. Or I know the one with the gun. Yeah, like, so.
It's Reinhardt, but he doesn't have a hammer.
Yeah, it's like, we use fists in Exoprimal. Like, no hammer. No. So I guess, I think Overwatch players actually, because one of my best friends is a big Overwatch fan, and we played a lot of the beta together, and he was like a duck to water. He was like, yep, I'm going to play support. I'm going to play Nimbus. Like, this is great. So I think Overwatch players will literally come in and settle in immediately in this kind of game.
Okay.
And like on the PVE front, like I'm a big like Left 4 Dead and Dynasty Warriors fan. So like I was like, yes, I've got best of both worlds here.
Okay, so another thing about the season pass,
yes.
Do they expire?
So seasons do have like a set window of time.
Yeah.
Like most other titles with these season passes. I don't know on what happens to your season pass after that window, if like it will be still completable, or after that season ends you then go on to the next one. So I can't say definitively,
because that's been one of the things, because like I said, I don't like season passes, but I've realized that they're basically moving to the future. There's always going to be a ton of titles that are going to have season passes, because this is just the way that a lot of publishers are going. And there are going to be games that are going to have season passes that I'm going to have to play. Whether that I'm going to want to play is what I'm getting at. Whether that is the case with Exoprimal or not, we'll see once the final game comes out. I'll be interested to check it out. But the thing to me is, and this is something that I believe they tried doing with Halo Infinite, was that the season pass didn't expire. So you can basically, as far as I understand, because I didn't play Halo Infinite, but as far as I can understand, you can basically choose, I want to go progress this season pass, and then you just play through it. And I think that is a much healthier way of doing it, because that way players don't feel like, oh, I paid $10 and now I have to play the game to make sure that I complete the season pass. And sometimes they'll be playing and they don't even want to do it, right?
Yeah, I guess it's an interesting one. Like, I'm a big Destiny player. I love Destiny, so I'm very much monetized into the season pass model myself. So yeah, like I think when I look at games, like I buy season passes for, because I used to play Fortnite, I used to play Warzone and DMZ and stuff like that. I personally tend to buy season passes when I'm like, this is a game I'm going to play a lot. This is my main game kind of thing. So therefore the cosmetic rewards matter to me, because I want to kind of flex and I want to look good. So I guess it really depends on how you as a gamer or as an individual kind of see what a battle pass as. Is it for you a way to force you to play the game more, or is it more of a way to kind of further build upon the time you already spend in it? So yeah, when it comes to battle passes for me, I'm very much like, yes, this is going to be my main game for X, and therefore I'm going to buy into this to support the devs and make me look even flashier when I'm playing. But it is definitely an interesting one, especially you said the industry does kind of move towards kind of battle passes as kind of like the new norm for supporting these ongoing games and live service kind of titles.
So you don't know if it's going to expire or not yet at this point?
No, I don't know. I can't be like, oh yes or no, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, but I hope it doesn't, because that would at least be a way. I kind of feel like if it didn't, it at least also keeps players in a way where, oh, I finished my battle pass and I don't have anything to do. You could go like, oh, I finished like my battle pass from season 3, but I never got to finish my battle pass from season 2. And, that type of stuff. Also, do you know if there's going to be specific activities? There are some battle passes that sometimes have the whole thing of like, kill someone like without scope.
With a spade, or something like that.
Or do something that's really dumb that nobody wants to do ever, but go ahead and do it because of X. Like an example that I have with me was Dauntless, where I was interested in crafting like a fire weapon. I don't remember if it was exactly a fire weapon, but the battle pass would say like, no, I want you to go kill earth behemoths. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll kill an earth behemoth. And then I would kill it. And I was like, okay, now can I go kill the fire one? No, now we want you to go kill the wind behemoth. And I was like, bro,
please.
Why can't I advance the battle pass while I'm killing the fire one? Please, for the love of God. Do you know how that's going to work, or is that not set in stone yet at this point?
Based on my experience with the beta, it's like XP based progression. You play the game, you get XP, you level
so
up your
the more XP you get, the faster the pass goes. Okay,
yeah,
so just like playing efficiently, you're good.
Yeah, play well, play as a team, because that's how you get you score and your medals and all of those kind of things. And that way, it's most player freedom, because mention that I know Halo Infinite got a lot of criticism from its community for like, get 5 kills with a needler, and it's like, yeah, but I don't like that gun and stuff like that. So so based upon what I've seen so far, it's literally play the game, have fun, level up.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much all I had. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us about Exoprimal?
Yeah, I say it's coming out July 14th on pretty much every platform. You've got Steam, Windows, Xbox Series SX, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and it will be available on Game Pass as well. Did I say Steam? I did say Steam.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah, and it's available to pre-order now. Check out the website if you want more details. And honestly, there's nothing like it. I've used games as a comparison to try and kind of like clue people in, but it really is great to see the team try something new and a bit different. It kind of reminds me when I first played Lost Planet 2, and I was like, I've never played anything like this before.
Yes.
Because I love Lost Planet 2.
Dude,
it's one of my favorite games.
It's so underrated, right? Because like I saw that a lot of critics back in the day, they would just like crap all over it, and I was like, dude, what are you talking about?
It's incredible.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. And like Exoprimal gives me the kind of vibe in like, there's nothing like this before, and I really like it. And you can kind of go, okay, well, I've played Horde games before. I've played like role-based PvP games before. And, whilst this has those essences and elements in it, the team have really done their own thing with it. And I would say keep an eye on it. And I know I'm very biased because obviously I'm the community manager. But there's nothing like it. And a lot of the time we see gamers go, oh, the landscape's all the same. There's this, modern day shooter or this whatever. Exoprimal is different. And the team have been experimental with it. So do check it out. Whether you're into PvE or PvP or a bit of both like me and yourself by the sounds of it, like with your Overwatch background, do check it out. Like keep an eye on it. Like there's lots more to be revealed. Obviously, we're going to kind of be sharing more about PvE as well, and the big boss fights and stuff like that. So do check it out because, the team are trying something new. And I honestly have a ton of fun with it. And obviously, also, I've noticed as well, actually, over the beta, a community subreddit has turned up on Reddit that's fully community ran. So, if people are looking for a place to go, because obviously we don't have like an official Discord and stuff like that for Exoprimal, there is like a subreddit that the burgeoning and growing community can kind of go and join and chat with other Exo fighters. So I hope they don't mind me giving a shout out for that.
Okay. Also, I believe that you have a feedback form, right, that you put up for the beta. Make sure to give me a link afterwards. I'll try to put that in the description of this so that anybody who's played the beta this weekend and you want to provide your feedback, you should definitely go there and do that because, with more feedback, the team can shape the game to be more towards what you would potentially like.
Absolutely. And one thing I can say is like community feedback matters. Like this isn't just a tick box to appease players and be like, oh yeah, we're listening. The team do listen and the team do go through the feedback. The community team go through it. The developers over in Japan go through it. Like Capcom do care about the community voice.
It's,
we do it with Monster Hunter as well.
Yeah, there's a very easy example to bring up there, which is Fatalis in Monster Hunter World, which was not a part of the cards at all when they were developing Iceborne, and then they made like that poster, and the whole community was like, Fatalis, Fatalis, and they were like, well, I guess we got to do Fatalis now. Yeah. And they made one of the best fights ever in Monster Hunter. It was amazing.
The music, the set. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother topic. We could chat for hours about Fatalis. And then Alatreon. Anyway, I need to stop. Safi Jiva.
So when's Monster Hunter 6 again, Jonno?
So I need to get back to my anomaly grinding, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
good heavens, Elgato calls.
Anyways, guys, that is going to be it for now. Jonno, thank you very much for making the time to talk about Exoprimal. If you guys want to know more about this, I'll naturally be following up with Jonno when there's more information about this, and also Monster Hunter, because Jonno also works in Monster Hunter and all of that stuff. And naturally Dragon's Dogma 2 as well, even though that's probably not with you, but...
No, that's with Kat. So
we'll definitely want to hear about that when that happens too. So you have to send in.
I want to hear about it too.
Yeah, send in a good word and tell her to come talk to me when the time is right, because I'd love to talk about that too. But for now, that is going to be it, everybody. Are there any more betas planned, or do you not have anything to talk about at this
If
point?
and when there is another beta, we'll definitely make lots of noise about it. At the minute, the team's focus is going through what the information we have now, and then deciding what the next steps will be. So yeah, watch this space, I guess.
For sure. Anyway, that's going to be it. We'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.